Just hours after President Trump shut down talks for the new economic relief bill, he quickly reversed course. Now he says he would sign a standalone bill consisting of stimulus checks.
Team Rising's back to weigh in on all of this. Joining us, our Hill reporter Jonathan Easley and principal at the Rabin Group, Eduardo Rodriguez. Gentlemen, always a pleasure.
Good to see you guys.
Jonathan, let me just start with you. I mean, President Trump coming out on Twitter over the weekend, actually, when it was in Walter Reed, being like, get the stimulus negotiations done. Then he tweets, I've instructed my representatives to end negotiations on a stimulus. We'll do something after I'm reelected. Then he sort of frantically scrambled to get something going again because the stock market crashed and somebody must have gone to him and been like, you're killing your reelection chances. What do you make of all this activity and where we stand today?
Well, I mean, I don't know what to make of Trump's activity. I mean, I guess he learned pretty quickly after scuttling those talks that was a bad political move for him when the stock market dropped pretty quickly there. I was just watching CNBC this morning and Ted Cruz was on, and he's warning that Republicans could face political bloodbath if voters don't head into this election in 25 days feeling good about where they stand in this economy. It feels like the jobs market is sort of stalling out as we enter this really an unstable fall season as far as you're going to have, obviously, the flu going on. You're going to have the COVID pandemic still going on. It's hard to say that the economy is necessarily, heading in the right direction right now. And we're seeing polls showing Joe Biden eating into Donald Trump's longstanding advantage on the economy. On some of these polls, they're running neck and neck, essentially. And that's basically the one issue that Trump has where he's beating Biden on. I mean, on every other issue, whether it's healthcare, managing the pandemic, throw it out there, Biden has a lead. So for Biden to catch Trump on the economy is quite bad for the president. So I expect Republicans to show some urgency in getting this stimulus bill across the finish line.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, I don't know if Republicans will. I think Trump is going to try. So, Eduardo, I mean, what do you make of all this? It's kind of incredible, really, to see the stimulus. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a rule. After a few cocktails, I don't tweet. After the steroid cocktails that Trump was on, he clearly decided it was a good time to tweet whatever flow of thought that he had about the economy, and he put himself in a terrible situation. The truth is, we know that President Trump would like to add the U.S. economy to his long list of bankruptcies, Trump Steaks and Trump University, and on and on. It's clear he has no idea of what to do here, and he has undercut Treasurer Mnuchin time and time. He's not to negotiate in the best interest of the American people. It's an embarrassing situation that leaves Senator McConnell trying his best to move forward and maintain a majority, which every minute it seems like he's going to lose that, which is another reason why they're pushing forward so quickly on this Supreme Court nomination. You've got over 800,000 claims per week since March. 25 million people receiving some form of claim, and over half of them received direct benefits from the stimulus relief bill that passed many months ago. They're in limbo. If you're going to do anything, you're already in the red. Our economy our deficit is going to be greater than the actual income and growth of the U.S. economy. It's an embarrassing situation, but you may as well, for political gain, cut this damn bill, a relief package, and send it out to help Americans who are currently suffering and have no sign of hope in the weeks ahead.
I mean, yeah. I completely agree with all of that. But let me ask you, Eduardo, should Pelosi have taken there was like a $1.6, $1.7 trillion deal that was on offer from Mnuchin coming from the White House. That's down from the $2.2 trillion HEROES Act that they had passed through the House. Should she have taken the bill? Because it sure seems like basically she's decided it politically benefits Democrats to not do a deal. And so she was playing hardball. She had a strong hand to play there in terms of the political benefit. But ultimately, just in terms of being able to get some aid out to the American people, do you think she should have taken that $1.6 trillion?
Well, I think she needs to fight for every single dollar out there. Both sides know that the need is much greater than this bill is actually going to provide. The number is much larger, and we're not able to actually take on the actual need out there because we don't know how much longer this is going to last.
Right.
If we had taken these
but now people are going to get nothing.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore. I think Senator McConnell and even Senator Cruz have made it clear they need to do something before Election Day. So I'm very optimistic that they're going to get something out there, and it's probably going to be better than the 1.4 trillion that Nancy had originally been offered.
See, I'm not so sure, Jonathan. You and I, we've known some of these people in the GOP, and I don't see them coming around to a deal. Mitch McConnell just said this morning, literally this morning, in the state of Kentucky, I don't see a stimulus bill happening within the next 3 weeks. Now, if you speak McConnell, I think he's very politely saying, I don't think so, Mr. President. What do you think, Jonathan?
Yeah, I mean, that's how McConnell talks. I think you're reading those tea leaves properly. It seems like we've moved away from this maybe a potential for some piecemeal progress that people were looking at. The airlines are looking at mass layoffs right now. But Pelosi has shot down the idea of just doing a standalone bill that might help the airline industry. President Trump is apparently telling his advisors that he wants to go big as he can possibly get. But I mean, these things take time, and it's an election year. I mean, the election's 25 days away. It's really hard to see these two parties coming together on the kind of big bill that the president is all of a sudden talking about and getting that done before Election Day. I mean, that's just really hard to see.
And Jonathan, lastly, just kind of lay out for us how you see the political landscape right now with such a short time period before the election. Maybe not a second debate going to happen. Doesn't really look like it right now. So one more debate on the calendar. What are we, 25 days?
Yeah, 25.
25 days out now. Where do you think things stand based on the polling you're looking at?
I mean, the Republicans I talk to are starting to worry about Trump facing a landslide loss that costs them the majority in the Senate. I mean, that's what the polls are showing. It's possible, once again, we're catching Trump at a low point here after that terrible first debate for him after his COVID diagnosis. He doesn't seem to be getting any sort of rally around the flag momentum from that. I think people probably think that he's in large part responsible for contracting the disease because of his behavior and the way he talks about masks and the events he's been holding. So, it looks really, really bleak for Republicans right now. For Trump, he's losing almost by double digits nationally. He could maybe afford to lose by 4 or 5 points at the most and still pull out an electoral college victory. The battleground polling looks terrible across the Midwest, across the Rust Belt. These states that he has to win look like toss-ups, like Ohio and Iowa and Georgia. I don't think Texas is in play, but I mean, the polls they're bad for Trump everywhere. And Republicans are very much on defense in traditionally red states like South Carolina and Alaska and Montana, where they need to win these states to hold on to the Senate. And it just seems like some of these states are probably going to go against them on Election Day.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Gentlemen, thank you. Thanks, to see you both. Enjoy the weekend.
Good seeing you.
Guys.
President's interview with Sean Hannity last night did not exactly make the case that he's feeling totally better. We're going to talk about that when Rising continues.